I have been asking this question over and over and over to people. I have never had a logical answer to this. The only answers I've been given are based on circular reasoning. And the question is, on what authority do you justify that your cause is right and the New World Order's cause is wrong, or Obama's cause is wrong, or anybody else that you claim is your enemy, or the Federal Reserve, anybody? Any answers they have given me can be used for one side or the other. This is requiring a reliance on some outside source, because what is the difference between a patriot and a terrorist? I mean, where's the defining line here? The government would call people like me a terrorist. Would they be right or wrong in that? Of course, a lot of people that claim they're fighting for liberty would say, well, they're wrong. And I said, well, why? Why would they be wrong to say that you're a terrorist? Well, they would have no justification for that whatsoever. They very well could be. A lot of these people could be fighting for something that could be completely wrong and they don't even know it.
Nobody can accuse you of being a terrorist if you're nonviolent. And if you openly advocate for nonviolence.
Tell me, what does freedom mean to you?
Be able to do what you want to do without anybody telling you.
There is a moral underpinning to this movement, and everybody agrees. And it stems from, if you actually think about what freedom is. I mean, what are we trying to do here?
Freedom is not really what I'm interested in. It's liberty that I'm interested in. And I've only begun to really make that distinction.
Liberty is the freedom to make your way in the world, and your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness within the constraints of the rule of law.
When I looked up freedom, it would give me the synonym license, permission.
License is a kind of radical pursuit of self-interest. There are people who hold that view, hopefully not too many.
When I've read other people's material and talked to different people who speak about freedom, they're just like, oh, well, you know, we don't want any of these rules. We don't want any of these boundaries or limitations or anything like that. Well, you have to have something. There has to be some anchor point.
We're trying to maximize every person's free will. And the reason why this takes on a spiritual point of view is that free will is not just, you know, you don't buy free will at a yard sale. You know, like, we're the only ones who have it, as far as we know in the entire universe. Now, it's the thing that makes our existence worthwhile. And to the extent that our free will is restricted, we're less human.
Freedom has roots in Christian faith.
A lot of them are just hiding from this concept of no God. For some reason, they don't like it, because it does imply that there is a word of God somewhere, and that does imply that this, you know, that there's a set of rules that have been laid down, and a lot of them don't like these rules. They like freedom from those things.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned religion. Like, a lot of the big libertarians are well known to be atheists.
I personally think that it's more of an ideology for atheists and agnostic people.
I think we have to be careful. I think when we say religion, we tend to limit that. I have a lot of friends that would not say religion; they'd say spiritual.
But, you know, like, and I also don't like when people say, like, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual or whatever. You know, I mean, I do believe in something, but it's hard for me to put a name on what it is.
The thing that would get us back to where we need to be as a country is a return to virtue. Our founders wrote the Constitution for a moral people. They based it on biblical Christian principles, and which are familiar to everyone, even if you're not a Christian. You know, the basic principles of being a good person, being honest and true and faithful to your spouse, things like that. That's what our Constitution was meant to function under. And as we get further and further away from that through other various influences in the world and in society, our government just gets further and further away from what it was meant to be. You have to have more government regulations, the government stepping in and making laws where it never was intended to be making laws, because people can't govern themselves.